Welcome to Dyson Sphere Program. My name is Nilas, and what a glorious day it is. Blueprints are here, and today we're going to talk exclusively about blueprints. This might be a longer tutorial, so do keep an eye on the video progress bar because there will be chapters so that you can skip ahead and back again if you like. So let me just talk about what I'm going to do in this video so that you know if you need to skip some of the parts, if you already think you're a master, or you want to get the whole thing in. So anyway, we are going to start by explaining how blueprints work, the very basics, how to do it, saving, loading, changing, that kind of thing. Then I'm going to go into some of the more advanced tricks that I found out. Well, it's on day one, but how do you know advanced tricks? Oh, but I just struggling for many hours and found really many quirks, and I'm going to try to cut down on the many hours of frustration for you by sort of guiding you around the pitfalls. Then I'm going to be talking extensively about spherical blueprints, because spherical blueprints are the most awesome things. That means like the whole globe or partial globes, and there are some tricks and quirks, and I was about to sort of give up, but now I found a way and I'm going to show you the way. Then I'm going to end with a magical minor blueprint that has completely, or that will change my endgame mining setup, and maybe hopefully it will change it for you as well. So, if you learn something new, if you find this interesting, consider hitting the like button, and of course, if you're new around here, consider subscribing for a lot more Dyson Sphere Program content here on the channel. And this of course means that moving forward, the Let's Play will be more focused on showing great designs, and dare I say it, is it time for a masterclass in Dyson Sphere Program? Let me know in the comments. Let's dive into the basics. Let's start with the really basic part. How do you access blueprints? Well, you have a new research tree here that starts from, initially, it starts with some basic things that you can research before you even get research labs up and running, circuits here, but it only has 60 facilities. So this means that we need to be careful if I share blueprints for the early game, that they do not have too many entities in here. These are entities. It says facilities, but it's actually entity. One inserter, one sorter is one entity, one belt is one entity, one power pole is one entity. So it adds up super quickly. And that is that's what we have here. You can see as well. 150 with blue, and then with red, which is something you can get really early, you get 600. And that's where we really start to sort of see some kind of usefulness. Going up here through 3000 facilities, well, I think that's going to cover your main needs. And then finally with purple signs, you get all of it, as much as you want, and that means you can cover an entire planet. So start by getting that research, and then we can go in. I'm of course going to take my late game base, the ones that I'm using for my Let's Play and my Twitch series, and that's going to be where we start off when use the examples. Let's start with the very basic stuff. Let's start making a blueprint, and that is using Control-C for copy. That's the one way. Then you enter a new mode. This mode is super awesome. Look at it. It's not nighttime. My worlds seem to always be nighttime, but here you have a full planet view, and you can zoom in and you can move around. So it actually also gives you a very nice view of the planet in a much very neat way. So you can actually also use it just to look at the planet. Now let's cover sort of how you do it. So now we need to take a blueprint. You start by, well, left clicking, and then you don't have to hold it down. You just left click just to put the start position. You can use the middle mouse to drag the map, and then you left click again to end the blueprint. There. Now it says all these things. It'll sort of prune the box to be the minimum size that it needs, and it'll show you up here what you have in this blueprint. Then from here, well, if you just want to just use it because you just copied one thing like this, in case this is the same blueprint, you can just hit Control V or use now. Then you actually get it out, and you can then have it in your hand, and you can stamp it down. And here again, you have some options. If I want to place it down here, which would be like the most logical thing for sort of a quick thing, I design something, I build it once, and then I just want another copy of it. You just click it down there, and it's now added. And all my robots will get busy with it if I wasn't out of range. You can build blueprints on the other side of the planet as you wish. There is no undo, so if you make a mistake and accidentally print it, then you have to be faster than your robots at cleaning it up. See, my robots, they really want to go out there and do stuff, but I am going to have to be faster than they are to clean it up if I want to clean it up. And, of course, clean that one up as well. If I hit Control V again, I get the last blueprint that I had. And let's have a look at some of the things that you can do with it. So while we have it in hand, you can see that it readjusts as you get closer and stretches out as you get closer to the equator. It's now a straight line as we get closer here. You can go to the other side. You can rotate it if you like. Rotating it 90 degrees. Why would anyone build that like that? I don't know. Some people do. They are weird. But you can rotate it so it goes one way or the other way. The way that I'm going to do my blueprints is that I am going to, from the North Pole, have a interstellar logistics station and then going clockwise around the world. That's just how I want to do things. So that's how my blueprints are going to be made. I'll be providing a ton of blueprints as time goes by, and they will all be working within sort of these planetary sectors that we've talked about previously in one of my previous tutorials, and that's going to be how I want everything to work. That's also why I do not place it right next to it, but I wait until the next start of the next planetary sector delimited by these meridians. Let's go more into detail on how the blueprint works. I am going to again Control C to open the blueprint. We are going to basically take the same blueprint again, and there it is. So now we have it here. We have some options. The top one here is the name of the file. Each blueprint will be saved as a text file, and it'll be located in your Dyson Sphere Program folder. There'll be a new folder created called Blueprints, and you will now have a lot of text files there. It is super neat that it's just raw text files. I love it that you can then, from your Windows Explorer, you can actually just copy it, paste it, save it, share it. I am going to, or basically I should say, in the link in the description below, there will be a link to my website, and there I'll collect links to all the blueprints that I'm making. So instead of embedding blueprints into the description, I'm having a single location in my description that links to all of my DSP blueprints, so you can have one place to find all the stuff that I've made. And that's also where it's available. So I can call this Solar Sails. And then the next one is, what do I want to call it inside? Because there I might have some weird icons that I don't want in a file name. Then there comes the icon part. You can make an icon. This one would be really logical to, that's solar panels, that's not solar sails. How often do I make that mistake? There we go, solar sails. But you know, maybe we'd actually want this. This is how many icons I want, 2 for 2. So I could make another icon and say, you know what, I want to make sure that I highlight that I'm actually making them in Mark III machines, because I might have another one that is different. So I'm going to do this one and keep that icon. You can put it in the description if you like, and then you can save the blueprint. Now it comes in, this icon, this name, it is now here. And that also means that if I go out of my blueprint mode and I hit the little blueprint icon here, then I open the blueprint library. From here you can also create a blueprint, you can make a new empty blueprint, and you can get a new blueprint book. Whoop. Ooh, look at that. We can actually put things into different folders. That is super nice. So I'm gonna see if it is just a new folder. It absolutely just makes a new folder. So that's really nice that you can actually have a thing here for early game, late game, different planets, whatever you want. And we can look at there. So if I want to use it, you can here, and it's actually kind of funny. Where is it? You can copy this, and you will copy this string, which is what I will be saving, and you can get it in here. So if you want to import a blueprint, can start a new one. There's a new blueprint, new empty blueprint. That one. And then you can paste whatever you have already copied from another location. Let's see if we can do that. Copy from here, and then if I put it in here, we can paste it. Then it looks exactly the same. Somehow it does not, well, kind of obviously it doesn't change the name here, because that's going to be the name of the file that you save, and if you did it the same, it just wouldn't work. So you no need to put in the blueprint save path up here. Now that's pretty neat. What can we do more to with this? Well, the one thing that's actually most important is, how would I actually use it? And you can then save changes on this one. I will be clicking this one, double clicking, and then you get it in hand. That was actually something that took me just a bit of time. Like, I needed the button where it says use blueprint. Like if I copy here, if I copy this, there is a use now. But if I go into my blueprint mode and select the blueprint here, where's the use now? It's not there, so you double click it and then you get it. And one more tip to cover, I am going to take a blueprint like this. Oh no, I accidentally included all the solar panels up here that I don't want. So I can deselect them by right clicking on every single entity. You can see over here, it tells me the number of entities I have, or I can simply deselect this one and it removes all of that type of item. And now the blueprint is back. Or you could also, if you want to make a drag box like this was then a right mouse button drag box, and confirmed. Then I have reduced the blueprint by a lot. You can see the number of entities here is removed. You can add again, back again by right clicking, so you can actually add two blueprints like this and subtract with the right. Oh. There. So adding and subtracting to the blueprint is super nice. So that's basically all the basics, what you need to get going. You can copy, paste, you can save, you can load, you can import, you can export. It's basically all the things that you would expect from a Factorio blueprint. And why is it always nighttime when I'm playing the game? It's now nighttime for another 5 minutes. Damn it. Let's go into the advanced. So let's take a look at some of the more advanced things, some of the things that maybe not seem so intuitive, but actually are really great. Let's look at a blueprint. I'm going to start it from down here. I am going to start it exactly at the equator and go paste all the way up to that location. There we go. That is my blueprint. I'm going to take it. So when you copy an interstellar logistics station, it will actually remember your inputs. That is super, super nice that it remembers your input. But it also, but it does not remember that you put in vessels and drones. So you have to do that yourself. That's just something to keep in mind. And one more thing that it here, as you paste it down, I use the solar panels here to help with alignment, because it is kind of difficult to align this correctly. But if you do that and hit it down here, is everything green? No, these, you can see some of the entities are green and some of them are white. The white ones are the ones that I do not have in my inventory, so they will not be placed. Or if you place like gigantic blueprints, then it's also something that's just too far away that you don't necessarily have. But you can see the green ones, usual, those are the ones that we have, and you can't place the white ones. So in order for us to place the white ones, we have to go in and grab some more of these specific items. There we go, get 100 more of those. And then we should see those turning green. And that should be coming in. There we go, green. And if you look at this, it has the demand and supply remembered, the values down here remembered, but obviously not any logistics or vessels added either. So that's something to keep in mind if you look at this blueprint and go like, oh, that's a neat blueprint. Oh yeah, it is. There will be a tutorial on late game smelting very soon, coming next week. So keep an eye on the channel for that. So that is one of the things. Another thing that I want to do is, if you just take this copy, we are going to do that one and paste it again so we can work on it. Now, the thing is, this works great. This is not a big surprise that it doesn't work, because it overlaps with some solar panels. That's not actually why it's not working. You could say blueprint areas are divided by tropic lines. Those are the fault lines here. And you can see here, as soon as we get all the way up here, even though there should be like room for it, it just doesn't accept it because it goes across the tropics. These are not tropics up here, but the fault lines, the tropics, whatever, they're calling them tropics. So I agree that stuff like that one is definitely a tropic, and that's one of these is probably the polar circle as well. So that is something that keep in mind, but it is actually possible to do that. How is that possible then? Well, you can take a blueprint, and I'm going to take a blueprint over up here by the North Pole. Come on, fly up there. And I'm just going to show you what, yeah, it is actually possible to have a multi there. So for example here, this is in two different tropics. Here, that is one, and that's one. But if you copy, come on. Yeah, you can't no, yeah, I have to copy it from over here, from there, and you can take 2 of these, there, and paste. So it's not actually a problem in and of itself to do that. You can paste it down here. It's just that you can't place it like this. Then it just goes, no, 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 it doesn't fit. So keep that in mind, that if you make something in the, let's say, in the 5, this one is 5 wide, this 5 squares wide plus 5 squares wide. If you do those, they can only be placed in the 5 square plus 5 square. I think that is a super good constraint that they put in. It is going to make their life a lot easier. It's going to make sure that you can't sort of make bad blueprints in that regard. So I think that's totally the right thing to do. It also makes it a bit easier to place things around the planet. So that's basically some of the more advanced parts. Some blueprints, of course, if we take the one we have here, if you then scroll it down, scroll, and look at the equivalent position on the southern pole, where it should be able to be built. Then what you really need to do is make sure that you rotate it, and then it's good. If you rotate it, then it works much better, and there. And see that it works now when it's rotated. So if you take something from the North Pole, rotate it, then it works on the South Pole. You can't just slide it up and down. And that's something you keep in mind. Maybe some of the things you actually have to have a specific rotation. And now it's time to look at spherical blueprints, because those are the most amazing thing. And if you have been watching anything I do, then you know that when I land on the planet, I want it to look like this. I want my polar hub. Now I want exchanges up here. And then I want my lines of power poles. You can see them here going down the 4 quadrants. And I want my 5 lanes of solar panels. That's just how I like my planet, because then I can easily see the different tropics spread up, and that's just how I want this one to work. And that means this would be super easy if I could just stamp this down on a planet. So this is where we get into the spherical blueprints, and boy are they annoying. I spent so much time trying to make them work, but now I'm going to show you, and then you go like, oh, that's not very difficult, is it? Why did you have trouble with that? Yeah, but I did indeed, and that's gonna be something. So let's of course start by making sure that we have that one out. Nothing related to the tutorial or not, but it just looks good. Let's start by making a blueprint, as I would expect. I'm gonna start here. That's a nice place to do, and then we drag it all the way around here and go into the middle. Make sure that the middle is actually included. Boom, we have a blueprint. Isn't it awesome? I am going to copy this blueprint, and then I am going to place it again. And what the hell is going on? Where are my, what? Right, this is, it lost some entities, and it doesn't really seem to be placing correctly here. There. So what you can do is, for rotate, you can rotate and then rotate again. Then you can see all the entities came in again. And if I look at this, it should be aligned perfectly here, but it is not. You can see that something is weird. So again, there's something really weird at there. Suddenly it works, but if you go here, then and suddenly it works, and suddenly sometimes it doesn't work. It's just so weird. So you need to be really careful about it. One thing that I have found out when making blueprints, actually let's look at this one, because I want to show you what it looks like at the poles. Yeah, so this is how it actually looks, and that's the reason why it's yeah, it's weird. You can see how much of a difference there is between this, and of course when you roll it up here, then it starts wrapping up around this location there, and then you can place it hopefully at, okay, so this is the one thing. The other thing is, now you can see a yellow line right there. That yellow line is super important. Let's get over to the yellow line. The yellow line will actually help us make sure that we build it correctly. Where's the yellow line? Come on, yellow line. If I hover it exactly on the yellow line and then take it sort of in the middle, the yellow line is 180 degrees displaced from where you start taking the blueprint from. So if you take a spherical blueprint, then it will be exactly opposite. And that means if I place my location here on the yellow line, you can see that the exchanges are now covering exactly the opposite of what they were before, and therefore in this case I have to do it 180 compared to the yellow line, and then it works. So the yellow line is there. You follow the yellow line. It's basically like the Wizard of Oz. It's the yellow brick road. You need to follow the yellow brick road. So that's how you remember it. Let's go up. What I prefer to do with these kind of blueprints is actually take it from one meridian off. Sounds weird to say something like that, but where's my first meridian? That one is my first meridian there. It's so much easier if I find that this blueprint, come on. Yeah, okay, not that blueprint. Reset. There. All the way around, go in, use now. Sometimes you will get blueprints that, and see, this is the case where it's somehow misplaced. So just shuffle, 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 and again, look at the yellow line. Just go directly opposite of the yellow line, and boom, you'll find it. It's super difficult to sort of align it, but yellow line, opposite, and then you find it exactly. So let's take this one and try to get it onto the other planet. I have already saved one of this. It is here, polar hub with exchanges. Then we also want to take another one, which will be all of the solar panels. On this planet, I've made sure that there's solar panels everywhere, but there is a quirk and a kink and all that to it. So I'm going to go from here and go all the way down, all the way around, and go all the way up here. Boom. This includes the conveyors, but if I have a conveyor in my other blueprint and then also have it in this blueprint, they will try to overlap, and that can't be done. So I unselect this, copy it, and then I have my sphere here. This one is super important to remember to rotate, because it's just a nightmare trying to align this. Again, the yellow line is gonna help us. I'm gonna go opposite of the yellow line. Yellow line is it. Where's my yellow line? Where's my yellow line? Yeah. There. There. And then we can paste it here. The one thing you have to be aware of is that if you have any mining operation overlapping, if just a single blueprint, I'm going to take a new blueprint here. If just a single one is not able to be built, you cannot build it. There is no shift click option like in Factorio where you just say, all right, just place the ones that can be placed. That means if you place a gigantic blueprint such as this, then you have to make sure that you can actually place the entire thing. We're going to be taking a look at that on another planet. So let's go to a fresh planet and see if we can place our polar hub there. So here we have a clean planet, and the question is now, can we place it? And the answer is, you know it already. The answer is, of course, no. So here we go. And that is a giant mess. Follow the yellow line. And then you can see that some of the things are missing. So we rotate twice and get those back in order. Interesting how that's so weird. It's almost there. Almost there. This is the quirky thing, right? There we go. And then it says, well, you can't build it because you can see here, that one is red and these ones are red. There's just so many things that are overlapping that one as well. So you need to be sure that you pave this area first before you are allowed to do that. So let's do that, and then we can see if we can place it again. And let's try one more time. I am going to take my polar hub, and I'm going to follow the yellow line. I'm going to follow the opposite of the yellow line. See, I didn't even follow my own directions here. And here we go. Then they start working on it. And this one will then be built. Cool. So then the next part is, can I then build the rest of the planet in one fell swoop? Well, the thing is, you're going to need to go and check if that there are no intersections. Because if I just build it now, we can go in here. I can do this solar, the ones we already have. And if I try building this here, that's gonna be a bit difficult. Again, looking for that damn yellow line. Maybe I have rotated. No, rotated like this. There. So now that obviously said it can't be done. Why cannot be done? There are too many things here that are intersecting. Just a single one of these will prevent all of this from being placed. So you need to unfortunately go around placing things, removing all of that stuff over here. And that is a big effort. And that's something we'll have to do. I have a place prepared that we can show you how it works. So let's see how that works when we place one of those blueprints. Now I find this planet that is not easy to make anything on because of all the lava, of all the mining operations, but that's the whole point. I want to show you what it looks like if you place it here. So I'm going to be facing north and I'm going to go into my blueprint. I'm going to take the solar and I'm going to be hoping that it actually works. I'm just going to check here. Are you ready? It works. Isn't that just absolutely insane? The entire planet is now placed in a single thing. Of course, you're going to be spending a bit of time running around, but that is a easy task compared to actually placing this. Usually I found that it took half an hour to place all of this, set up all the mines, set up all of this, but this way, I think we can cut it down to at least 10 minutes. And if it takes 10 minutes to set up a new planet like this, that is super amazing. So of course, those two blueprints, the polar hub with exchanges and the solar and power, they are available in the link in the description below. So do check them out if you want to build the polar hub that I always build. Now there was one more thing that I promised you. And that was a magic miner setup. You've been seeing it here. There's a magic miner setup and we haven't done anything with it. Now, I gotta be honest with you. The least enjoyable thing in this game is setting up new mining operations. You find a planet like this, 50 million, 50 million, 37 million. All right, let's go. Let's set it up. And then you just know that's 2 hours of just meticulously rotating miners here. Placing one, rotating, placing one, rotate, place one, rotate, place one, whatever, all of that stuff. It's not great. And we're of course expecting this to be fixed eventually. But the thing is, in the late game, I don't really care if I pick up all 53 million. I just need something coming in because I'm never going to run out of it with enough veins utilization. So I just need, it's more about the flow and less about tapping the 53 million. 53 million will never be used as long as you just have a constant research of veins utilization. So this is, for all intents and purposes, infinite resources, so you don't need to worry about it running out. So what if there was a way that we could have a blueprint that actually did some basic mining for us? Wouldn't that be cool? And there you have it. It's not covering all of the patches. Maybe you find that to be a compromise you don't want to take, but for me, this thing, it's insane. It is insanely good. It is insanely good. And you just get 8 patches. I'm setting up 2 of these here. And yeah, they only get like 5 and 4 and 2 and 2. I don't care. I don't care. This gives me a flow and it gives me something that just takes no time to set up at all. See this one? This is the part where it gets, I took that example because it was a good example. This one is slightly worse. So what are you going to do about that one? You can't place it unless everything gets placed. So you can maybe start shuffling it around just to see if you can find a good way. Here, it's only that one over there. So what I want to do is what you should do in this case. And yes, it's a bit more work, but it's totally worth it, I think. There's something here that's not really working. So if I can suppress that one, maybe that one as well, and do a blueprint, then it works. And then I can move on to the next one. Of course, they're going to be powered, so I need to connect them with power, connect them to this grid line as well. That will obviously be powered. So this blueprint, you just keep going. Can you take this one? Nope, because these are out of lane, so maybe rotate it a bit. That one of them is not working. Why did that one not work? Oh, it's overlapping with something. We'll just do it that way. Just trying to figure out how it works. What is this one? It's actually this one that's killing it. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of here, and maybe you think this is wonderful and amazing. Maybe you don't really care for it. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna be using this for my mining operations. There are some caveats, and it's for that reason. Let's cover those caveats as well. See this one? You would need to kill just a bit on either side. I'm just gonna show you how I do this, just to. Oh, okay, that one. That one, and we also needed that one away. Go. And rotate it. There you go. And it's. I think this is a lot quicker than what I did before. Now, there are some things that don't work. For example, it will never work up here because it is divided by tropic lines. So that's not gonna work. Also, it doesn't work if you are too close to something else, or if the patch is so small that you can't get all of your 8 hitting at the same time. If it's too big, then you just prune a couple of in the side. But in any case, I think it is absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy that I spent the time on figuring this out. Okay, let's get these back up online and get all of that out here, and then we can just go. Can I build it? There's just something here that not quite there. What is the reason for it? It says collide with other object. I don't even know what. Oh right, that's another thing, that if you make it close, they will be. Then you need to do it this way. Then it works. Because some of these two are closer than those two. And it might be something we can tweak at some point, but it works. Right, so that was the magic miner setup that I'm going to be using for my mining planets. On a planet like this, if I end up tapping half of this with these easy blueprints, then I am extremely happy. If you found any of this useful, then and you're still around, then maybe hit the like button so that the YouTube algorithm can find it and share it with other people. If you found it useful and you want to see more Dyson Sphere Program here on the channel, then consider subscribing. There will be tons more Dyson Sphere Program, lots of blueprints. It'll be, of course, very heavily focused on making cool blueprints and designs that are, well, you know me. If you know me, then you know that it's going to be something that works within these grids, so that it's way easier for you to fit it into your own base, because they will be designed towards the planetary sectors that I cover in a previous masterclass, not a masterclass, tutorial. And then we might dive into masterclasses videos if there isn't any interest in it. So let me know if there is an interest in doing that. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys either here on YouTube for more Dyson Sphere Program, or maybe over on Twitch, where I'm live streaming, testing, designing, and that's usually Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 8 p.m. Central European Time at twitch.tv/Niels. Maybe I'll see you there, or join the Discord, where lots of good designs are being shared. And so, thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.